Alright. Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna make a Sauerkrautsuppe, sauerkraut soup, German style. My recipe, or my flair. So what we start off with, I don't know if you can see this. There you go. You got, of course, the Bratwurst, carrots, potatoes, broth, sauerkraut, and onions. And pretty simple things, and start from there. First thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna start cutting the potatoes and putting it into the thing to start cooking, because it's gonna be the one that takes the longest to cook. So I'll start with broth, fill it up with some water, and then put the potatoes in there and start cooking. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is cut potatoes. I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna peel it. I'm just gonna cut it in cubes. So start in the middle, cut it two sides, and cube it. Or not cube it, but like wedge it. Like that. And I'm just gonna dump it in here. And what I did was I put the broth in there with some water. And that's it. Put it in there, and then turn it on. And I'm gonna do a bunch more. So, okay, so it's magic. You see it. There's the little potato soups, or the potatoes cooking away. And I'm gonna add some cilantro in there to give it some flavor. Eventually I'll put the onions, but I need to saute those first. So now that's what you get. Don't put the carrots until later. And okay, next thing I'm gonna do is saute some onions. First I'm gonna add some garlic in there, give it a little nice flavor in there. I put some olive oil in here. I love cooking with olive oil. There. The garlic kind of enhances. And I usually like the garlic to be crispy a little bit, or a little slightly brown before I put the onions in there. A little high. Alright, I'm going to put them in there. There we go. And I'm going to cook them a little bit lightly brown, not too brown. But you could saute them, basically. I just like to give it a little extra flavor. And it brings out the onions. So hold that for a bit. So onions sauteed, but I'm not going to put them in the soup yet. See how they're translucent? Because I don't want them to overcooked in the soup. And so soup was boiling with the potatoes. I kind of want the potatoes halfway done before I add anything else in there. So I'm going to add some salt in there. I personally like to add some Italian seasoning just to give it extra kick in there. And I like mine a little spicy, so I add a little crushed pepper. Not too much because it'll cook in there. And you're just going to let the potatoes cook until they're, I would say, halfway done, and then you can put the onions in there. Here's a twist of what I like to do. I like to put a little wine in my soup. So white wine, this is sauerkraut, and that kind of helps, breaks things down a little more, gives it a different flavor. And that's my secret ingredient. Alright, this is how I like the potatoes to be halfway done. So you cut it. It should be kind of breaks easily, but not too over much. That means it's ready. halfway through. Put the onions in there. Oops, boy. Because it's almost ready. And I usually like to put the sauerkraut at the end. And this time is probably when you want to put the carrots as well. So, but really the soup is almost done at that point. Baby carrots are great on there. So you're going to let it cook. Put the sauerkraut at the end so it doesn't lose some of its flavoring. Okay, next thing I do is I'm going to saute the Bratwurst, because I like to saute it because I like to bring out the flavor of the meat. A lot of people just cut it and put it in the soup, but then I find it's not as tasty. So again, saute it with a little garlic to give it flavor. Don't. It's brown, that's when you're going to put your sausages in. You see it. Garlic's nice and brown, so we're going to put our bratwurst in there and brown them. With the bratwurst, I don't like to put in the soup because I like to put it in the soup as you get ready to cook it, eat it, because then it keeps all the caramelization that you have right here in the pan, and it brings out better the bratwurst flavor. Versus if you put it in the soup, it kind of gets bland. Alright, so next thing is you can just try out by looking at the potatoes, tasting a piece of potato, see what's right. Also the carrot. If those two elements are done, then you can start putting the sauerkraut in there. Alright, so my sauerkraut does not have any vinegar in it. It's just in brine sauce, which is great. Some people like, if they are in vinegar, they don't like that vinegary flavor, too much of it, so they'll take it out, or so they'll rinse it a little bit. But since I don't have any, just make sure that it doesn't makes it too salty since it's in brine. Other than that, that's why I'm using the chopstick. It helps just take out the thing without the sauce. Alright, what you want to do is let that boil again. This is my sausages, bratwurst, and what I do is, like I said, I don't like to put it in the soup until it's ready. Almost like I put it as a garnish, but what I'll do is I'll put this on the plate and maybe pour some water in here, or soup in here, to put some flavor in there and put it back in there. That'll add some flavor to the sauce as well. And this is where you, once it's boiled, you want to taste it to verify that it's salty enough, has enough flavor, add salt, things like that. Okay, and this is where I add my pepper, add extra salt, and maybe a little more cilantro at the end. But you're kinda, and also if you want more paprika, just give it a little more kick. So it's all about flavor. But try some of it, if you like it, and then it's good to go. If not, add more. you add salt and stuff, you should wait like a minute and then try it again, because sometimes the flavor of salt, you can't tell until it's had time to kind of dissolve and mix with the other ingredients in there. So give it at least, shake a little bit, give it at least a minute, and then try it again. Okay, cilantro, I think it's ready, really. Try it out. Okay, let's add the meat in. And it's all ready to go. Perfect. And there you have it. Sauerkraut soup. Sauerkrautsuppe. Enjoy.